to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim! Climb the ladder, kid! Make yourself famous!
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
Is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM Kyle Gagliardi, and one of my co-hosts is my good friend Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, Chip.
What's going on? How's it going?
It was a good one. I like that.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
Going on.
Shoulder cuff, rotator cuff, shoulder cuff. Gonna need to work a little bit. We're joined by the part-timer Ian Garavaglia, hailing from the cornfield somewhere in Indiana. Ian Garavaglia.
What's up, boys? I'm glad somebody's bringing the energy. Came off of work about an hour ago, so I'm trying to get in with the vibes. But tomorrow and this weekend's kind of like picking me up right now. Just the thought of it. Oh, I'm excited for this weekend, boys. I can't get over it.
It's a big weekend, more professional wrestling going down, and our co-host Ian turns 22 tomorrow while we will be attending GCW. I can't think of a better way to celebrate your 22nd birthday than in a sweaty grand sports arena with a bunch of degenerates, right, Ian?
Hey, this is 3 years in a row now of a tradition for my birthday, so hey, a tradition's a tradition, and nothing better than doing it with some wrestling. So.
Couldn't have said it better myself. A tradition's a tradition. Hell yeah, brother.
He ain't wrong. Spot the lie. The chat's already going crazy. Love to see that. We got Steve in the house. Steve, thanks for stopping by. Thursdays are spelled OTM. We are doing well. Robbie Collins in the house, all the way over across the pond. Hello, Robbie. Kine also here. Of course, Kine, the MVM of OTM. If you don't know what the MVM is, it's the most valuable mark of the podcast. Lots of comments, lots of people saying what's up. So thanks for stopping by. Tucky, I know we've plugged your book numerous times, but if this is somebody's first time tuning in, maybe they don't know about the great book that you just published. Why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
Dude, Amazon.com, food fights, Jim Tucker, pizza party. You'll love it. Peas, hot dogs. What would happen if VeggieTales met pro wrestling? Look, inside cover. Look, where's the taco team? Oh, the taco team is over.
Hey,
People
spoilers.
Hey, come on.
I didn't give out any of the content, but yeah, food fights. Really proud of it. Really happy about it. Life is good. Just need to sell about 4,000 more copies to make the money back, and then we're all fresh. So,
well, it's a good thing we got 4,000 listeners every single week. So
I'll tell you what, though, that number wasn't always 4,000. That number started at 4,048.
so
Only
a
4,
dent has been made, I
Oh,
guess you could say.
only 4,000 to go.
Love that for you. And of course, this weekend we're running a promo code at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. The code's a little combo code since we got Payback, since we got All Out going on. I guess it's going out too, you know. The code this weekend is Payout. We're combining Payback, we're combining All Out. So just type in Payout at checkout. You will save 10% off your order at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. Guys, we're getting close to fall. How about an OTM hoodie? Tell them about the OTM hoodies. How comfy are those?
OTM hoodies. Ever wore one?
No,
Well,
probably not.
Yeah, no.
You have it. Comfy, soft, fleecy. I think we need to come out with a fall design, fall line. OTM does flannel.
Ooh. The yellow and black in a flannel might work.
Put the patch on the back or like on the left pocket. That's gonna have to be like a side order, I think. But I'm just convinced myself.
We might have to go to the think tank after this episode, start workshopping some ideas for new merch. But Before we do that, we have another special guest joining us this evening for the very first time. We met this man over at Warrior Wrestling. You've heard us talk about Warrior plenty of times. He has himself a podcast called That's Freakin Wrestling Podcast. He is the host of that show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Matt. Matt, how we doing?
Hey, you know what? I am so impressed. Tucky, when we bring our sweatshirts, our hoodies, our pajamas to market, I got to get you on a commercial, man. That was beautiful. You understand me?
Oh, yeah, I tried. Thank you.
Pajamas, huh? That's a good idea. We
Pajamas, PJs.
Yes.
It's getting a little cooler out there here in the Chicagoland area, which, Matt, I believe you're from, or not from the Chicagoland area, but you reside currently there, right?
Yes, we are in Chicago. I am from Detroit, Michigan, so I hate everything sports related to Chicago. We've been here now for 4 years, and I still have disdain for the Bears, have disdain for the Blackhawks. The Cubs are cool.
Yeah.
White Sox, go to hell. So
the Cubs are the team that everyone lets live. The Cubs,
the
Cubs are fine.
Forever to hate everything. You guys were in our division in every sport, so I won't even watch them. I will make sure that my Detroit sports are locked in. I cannot wait for the Lions to beat the Bears twice this year.
Probably will happen.
I said it. Spoiler alert. So yes, but yeah, we moved here about 4 years ago. Loved it ever since. Ironically, it felt like it kind of coincided with AEW. You know, we're coming on 5 years this weekend to All Out. You know, we took the trip to the first ever All In 5 years ago. We moved here 4 years ago. That was when All In or AEW started. And I don't think we've missed a AEW show yet locally, which is pretty cool.
And today is the 4-year anniversary of All In Chicago. That first AEW one, Vogus and I went 4 years ago, had the memory pop up on my Facebook. So 4-year anniversary. Yeah.
That's what's so cool about these weekends that are consistently being booked in the Chicago area. You just know that Labor Day weekend, it's going down all out. Unfortunately, I guess it's fortunate too, because we got a good show out of it. It was booked right next to All In, which we got a question from Steve, who was in attendance at All In at Wembley Stadium. So Steve, I hope you had a great time. He asked, and I'll let Matt answer this one first, because he's our guest. Did you guys enjoy All In?
I loved it. Going into it, the build wasn't the best. We know that, but I think that's typical now for AEW pay-per-views. You kind of know what you're going to get from the build, but then the show always delivers. So I was coming in at about 8.5, 9 in terms of how high I was from 1 to 10 in excitement levels. And they delivered. I thought they did a awesome job of giving you everything you wanted. We talk a lot about AEW kind of gives you that buffet where if you are a hardcore fan, you got it. If you're a technical wrestling fan, you got it. And I think they did a great job of that. I was very impressed with how it looked. I thought they looked like they belong, and I was a little worried about that. There's been times where their production isn't the best, but I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. I was a little hesitant at first for MJF and Adam Cole doing double duty on this show, but I think it paid off in the long run, and it kind of was a swerve to see them end as friends, Tuck. I think we all kind of assumed that one of the two were going to turn on one another.
Well, and I looked like they were trying to do a double turn in the match where booking Adam Cole to become the heel while MJF was becoming the face. And then, so that match itself was a roller coaster of emotion. The card as a whole, I think you're expecting good wrestling and great matches. That's not a surprise. Did not meet WrestleMania level hype for me because of the lack of story, but a lot of great wrestling. What a great start. I don't care about the horniness over the numbers of tickets and seats and all, like that's whatever, but I thought it was great. It looked big. It played big. I liked that they went short tunnel and still had the display there. And I liked the video inside the tunnel specifically. I thought that was kind of a cool look. Like we were watching a weekend music video every entrance. So it was good.
Ian, you got any additional thoughts on All In before we start our predictions?
Yeah, no, I saw some people complaining about what they did with the set, but I thought it was good because I think it just encompassed how many people were there. Because even when you're seeing the entrance, you see the people still above the entrance ramp, and oh my gosh, it was incredible. And the Firefly like tribute from the House of Black was that I had a tear brought to my eye just seeing everybody involved into it and bringing out the lamp. It was, I thoroughly enjoyed the show, even though I watched it back. I didn't even watch it live, and I spent $50 to watch it back. And I was so worth the money that I had spent. I don't know if I would spend the money at All Out, though.
Yeah. Well, we already kind of did that, didn't we? But,
yeah.
I'm not going to ask you how much you spent, Matt, but I do know you were in attendance for last night's AEW Dynamite. From watching it at home, I didn't thoroughly enjoy the show. Did you at least have a good time in attendance?
It's wrestling. It's live wrestling, so you're always going to have a good time. But what I will say is last night was different. Last night was really, it had a eerily feel to the show. So if you guys don't know, they were far from a sellout. It was the least amount of fans I've ever seen at an AEW show. I'm guessing probably 3,700 people in attendance. We know the Now Arena can get you up to 10,000 for a wrestling event. So you're talking the entire side where the hard camera is, nothing, and nothing upper deck. So really all that you're seeing is the floor was full, and then even pointing to the hard cam side, it was some empty seats. So that didn't help. And it felt like the crowd knew we're getting sick and tired of this CM Punk thing. There wasn't one CM Punk chant all night, which I was really surprised about. Now, granted, we know Punk probably would not show up on Dynamite. Collision is quote unquote his show. They tried to get a CM Punk chant started. Tony Khan came out after Dynamite, before Rampage started, just to kind of hype the crowd up. He did not come out before Dynamite, which I thought was really, really interesting. But he comes out, and it was not a standing up and clapping. It was more of there was a few people I heard in the crowd saying, F you, Tony. Then they tried to start a CM Punk chant. CM Punk chant didn't really get started. Because I think the majority of the people know, like, depending on which side you're on, and I can't wait to ask you guys what side you're on in this, but you look at it and say, hey, this is kind of CM Punk's fault, maybe. And I'm a pretty big Punk apologist. Even this one, I gotta say, you gotta turn the left cheek or the right cheek, whatever cheek you want to turn, you gotta turn it when you're talking about the biggest show they'll ever do in history. You got a huge week, and you kind of felt a little bit of that damper in the crowd. We know Tony said that they had some changes they had to make due to travel issues, so the card wasn't the best. I did think the main event was strong. That came across really fun live with Orange and Penta. Other than that, there wasn't much on that show, and I think a lot of us were waiting on, all right, you got a show here in a few days that you need to sell us on. I'm sure probably almost everybody who was in attendance at that show will be at All Out. And I don't know if we got that or not. A couple things they talked about, I'm like, okay, that's cool because we're going to be there. But I got to be honest, man, if I was not in Chicago and if I was not going, I cannot see me forking over another $50 for this show.
Yeah. We already spent money on it, like I said, and I think it came out to about $50 for All Out. But now that we know CM Punk's not going to be a part of it, I feel like that was the allure of this show, is knowing that you're going to get to see the hometown guy perform in his city. And you know he's always going to get a good reaction when he's in Chicago. So that's just unfortunate. But we're going to talk a lot about AEW in the back half of the show. We got to get to some predictions. Tucky's already got some forms filled out, so we will send out those links. But I can verbally tell you that paybacks will be bit.ly/payback23. If you want to fill out your predictions, Ryan Vogus is the current OTM pay-per-view or PLE champion, I should say. So looking to dethrone Vogus in this one. Payback happening on Saturday, so we're going to start here first with a matchup I think a lot of people are looking forward to. It just recently started on Monday Night Raw, this feud that is between the megastar LA Knight and The Miz. Tucky, I'm going to defer to you to go first here because I really don't know what direction I'm going in for this match, because I think you can make a case for both of these guys.
I do think you can make a case for both of these guys. I'm on the LA Knight hype train. That's my pick. The reason is he's taken a few L's. Like, at some point we got to shit or get off the pot here. Loved the Miz's promo on Raw. Outstanding. 10 out of 10. He's got the nailed. It's so funny. I think it'll be a fun match. I look forward to it. And I do think it's a credible win for LA Knight to start building stock. I'm out.
Yeah, that's fair. Robbie said, yeah, I think The Miz picks up the win to keep the feud going. Okay, Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, and that's where my brain immediately goes to. I mean, you could keep the feud going. Either it's some cheap win by either side, honestly, but like you said, Tuck, LA Knight needs some big wins. I mean, he won that battle royale at SummerSlam. Still, at the same time, it's like we knew he was going to win. There really wasn't that much competition besides Omos. I mean, really, he was a surprise entrant. So I think LA Knight needs this win, and I'm going to go with him.
All right, Matt, are you going to side with my two co-hosts over here, or are you going to change the pace and go with The Miz?
No, I'm going to go LA Knight. I don't want the feud to be over yet. They're doing some really good TV. And I talked about it on our pod from Wednesday. You could really tell The Miz was pushing LA Knight in that promo on Monday. That's one of those moments where things are real in wrestling, and you may not know it if you don't know the peek behind the curtain, but him talking about flubbing his line, him talking about the catchphrases, and anybody can do those type of things. And, the nods to The Rock and Stone Cold. Loved every single moment of it. So then you got to ask yourself, okay, well, is this enough to blow off the feud already? To you guys' point, LA Knight needs some wins. Miz is Teflon. I think Miz has only won one match this entire year, if I'm not mistaken. But from what we were told, we were told that LA Knight's push was going to start after SummerSlam. I don't think you start a push with a loss in their first big match. So give me LA Knight.
Yeah, that's fair reasoning right there. Robbie says that they think they can play it like LA Knight can't get a win, and he needs to keep taking on The Miz to get that win. Yeah, I see both sides of the coin here, but I'm going to agree with you guys as well. I think the safe bet is going with LA Knight here just to keep that momentum going. I'm not really sure who I'm going to end up taking in that U.S. title match, but something tells me that the next step for LA Knight will be that U.S. title. So him versus Rhea doesn't make much sense to me. So now I'm just starting to think about things that going ahead into the future. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with LA Knight here to defeat The Miz. Even though if this feud continued, The Miz gets that cheap win, Ian, that you're kind of talking about. Maybe it's a roll up or he cheats to win. That would be fine. But yeah, it's got to be LA Knight. So we're all going with LA Knight here to start off our Payback predictions. And of course, if you're watching live, feel free to share those picks of yours in the comments section on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So we got that match that I was just talking about here, the U.S. title, Rey Mysterio, the champ, taking on the former champ, Austin Theory. Ian, you get to start us off for this one.
Yeah, see, my issue with it is I could see it going either way if Austin Theory didn't just have that lengthy run and just kind of fell flat with it. I mean, they gave him the try. They tried to put a title on him. He carried it for a good amount of time, and the fact that he was actually, if you want to say, fighting and defending the title pretty regularly, at least every single PLE. But now he's lost it. I don't think they're going to want to give it back to him. I don't see Rey Mysterio and LA Knight fighting for this title later on, if that's where they end up going with it, with the U.S. title. But I don't see Austin Theory retaining or getting the title back. So I'm going with Rey Mysterio to retain.
All right, Matt, what you got in this one?
I'm actually going to go Austin Theory.
Interesting. What's the reason?
I don't like it because I think Austin right now is dead in the water, which is really interesting because he was dead in the water when he was walking around with the egg. He dropped the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then they kind of got him on track in last November, December, and then it just fell off the rails. He's missing something, and I don't know what it is, but we just don't care about him as fans. I don't know if it's we don't believe him or what. Maybe he's miscast. I'm not sure, but we've seen them flip-flop titles before. Hello, women's tag team titles. So to your point earlier, is this a way to get the title back on Austin Theory? So LA Knight beats him. LA Knight in a promo a few weeks ago made a comment of, I don't care who has the title, it's coming home to me eventually. So if you hear that, I've been talking about, I would love a Santos heel turn. Give me that Santos Escobar that was in NXT previously, but I don't think there's enough heat yet for that. So I don't really care about this match, to be completely honest. But if I had to go and pick, go ahead and give me Austin Theory.
I like it.
I just want to say this too, real quick. People forget Austin Theory beat John Cena this year at WrestleMania, which is the weirdest thing to me. Like, I mean, it wasn't a really clean win, not a great match, but still, he beat him at WrestleMania and he still fell flat. Which,
So, with that being said, are you saying Theory wins the title on Saturday? Cena challenges him next Friday and beats him?
Cena is coming back Friday. That's a good
And then
call.
we get LA Knight versus John Cena.
They got 7 weeks.
Dang it.
Tuck got me on that one. I mean, anytime you say John Cena, I'm in. It don't matter who it is. I'm sold. But for this match, I think I kind of agree with Robbie Collins here. He said, I think Ray wins this just because they will lean to Ray taking on Santos Escobar for the title. Matt brought that up too. I think that is the direction of the U.S. title. I know LA Knight's probably going to be waiting in the wings, but the story wouldn't make much sense. So eventually, I think it's going to lead to Santos being the one to take the title off of Ray. So I'm going to have Ray retain here, Tucky.
This is hard, and it's a match I don't care about. That's the toughest part about it. Like, either way, I hope LA Knight beats either of them, realistically. I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio winning in the idea of giving Santos Escobar an opportunity to turn heel, the feud between the two. There's something there. I think they can do that sooner than they need to do Theory and LA Knight. And does Theory need the title to face John Cena for John Cena to get a win on SmackDown if that's a thing that happens? I don't know. So I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio.
I'm glad Matt at least went the other way. I don't want to be in agreement for every one of these picks. That's boring. We don't need that. So we're all going with Rey Mysterio except for our guest. He's going to be going with Austin Theory, which then takes us to a match that I'm actually really excited for, and it's going to be a street fight for the tag team titles. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn looking to defend against Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day. And Matt, you do get to lead us off here for this one.
Smart money tells you we probably need to go KO and Sammy. That's smart money. Rhea did say on Monday that if there's not gold one at Payback, there's going to be some conversations had. So then you say, okay, well, does that mean then that Finn and Damian takes the titles? I don't think so. I'm going to go smart money. And then I'm going to go with how I would book the main event. Spoiler alert. So there is some gold in the Judgment Day by the time the show's over.
Oh, looks like me and you are on the same wavelength because this match is influencing the main event for me as well. So I'm going to have to agree and go with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But like Matt said, I do think there is a chance that all of Judgment Day is holding some type of gold besides Finn Balor at the end of the night. I wouldn't be surprised if the Judgment Day won. Hell, they're probably the biggest act right now on WWE television since the Bloodline is kind of at a standstill for the moment. So I think they could win, but I like you said, the smart money is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I don't think they've had a terrible reign, so I think it needs to continue. I'm going to go with the champs here, Tucky.
And who's in the tag team for the Judgment Day?
Finn and Damian.
And so you think they're going to lose, but since Damian's got the briefcase, that's his thing.
That's his ticket to paradise. Yep.
All right, that'll work. KO and Sammy.
Well, you like that idea?
I'm trying to figure out something for the Judgment Day. If they win here, like KO and Sammy can lose. They can be singles wrestlers. They don't need a lengthy run. They don't have a reason to lose with Damian Priest and Finn Balor together. I don't know that they have a reason to win. I think JD McDonough plays a role in it. There's some weird stuff.
It's a street fight, so anything goes, right? Sorry to cut you off.
That makes me think Judgment Day wins, though, because JD McDonough helps them win. He proves himself, and then he goes to Judgment Day.
Can I just
go with the Judgment Day.
I was going to say,
let Tuck give his pick.
No. I thought you already gave your pick because you said KO and Sammy, and then you started saying exactly what I was going to say with JD McDonough, and I was like, You just said everything. I'm going
Judgment Day, JD.
It's a street fight for a reason. So that's pretty much it.
So right side's going Judgment Day.
And so is Kind, apparently. Kind said Judgment Day takes the win. I think Dom could help, and KO and Sammy have had a boring title run, and it's time to end. Judgment Day take all the gold from Payback. And there's a reason you look behind us right now. It's hard to see, but the Judgment Day is on the poster of Payback.
Oh, my bad.
I'm not talking about food fights. That's a great purchase on Amazon.com. You can just search Jim Tucker. Go ahead and buy yourself one. That's a great idea.
We're done being hoes with my book.
Cheap plug. But yeah, I think I got to go with Kevin Owens and Sammy. So like you said, right side going with the Judgment Day. And me and Matt over here, we're going to go with the champs to retain. So we got
real quick before we move on though.
Yeah.
Let's kind of stay on this one just really quick because you made a comment about Judgment Day on the poster. They are the top act outside of Bloodline for sure in the company right now in terms of TV time and all that kind of stuff. Could be that the whole point of the street fight is for JD to get involved and maybe something happens where it's a mishap and that's how they lose and that could be their out of it. I just don't know if you look at it on paper, if Finn and if they get all the titles. So say if Finn and Damian have the tag titles, Rhea keeps her championship, where does the Judgment Day go? If they have the titles, why do they need JD? What is his mission? I just think that where they are with some dissension, it doesn't make sense to put the belts on them. We have to continue that dissension to now see that do we get a flip of JD and Finn? Does Damian leave? And that's where JD comes in at. That's where I think some good TV can come out of.
There's one thing you could do with that. I mean, you have Damian Priest obviously loving the Money in the Bank. He likes having the briefcase. He could start putting that as his top priority, even if he wins the titles, the tag titles. Just saying, these are just tag titles. I don't care about these. What I'm really after is something with the solo championship.
And that's how they lose the tag titles down the line.
That would be my thing. I just like the idea of JD McDonough, and we need to switch things up. We were all green on stuff, basically. But yeah, no, that'd probably be the only thing I would go with.
I'm trying to pick smart here. I'm trying to win titles. I haven't had a title in a little bit, so I'm just doing what I can over here.
Titleist Liardo, when was the last time you held a belt, man?
I couldn't tell
Since
you.
he lost it to me for NXT, baby.
I was the NXT champion. I don't even know what that is. Kind said, Tucky talking facts, though. Jada McDonough could definitely help them win, and then Priest has more motivation to cash in later to prove he can do it on his own. That is true. That is true. So let's move on here to
I think Kind's trying to butter me up to get the MVM.
Hey,
joke's on him, though. Matt's picking the MVM today, so.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of pressure for you, Matt. I don't know if you're too familiar with the MVM, but it's somebody that's like interacting the most, giving us the most quality comments throughout the live stream. That's what the MVM.
Well, hey, all I know is I saw a comment that said that the GOAT of rap is from the great city of Detroit. So
those are facts.
You guys, if you did not say that, I got to go back and look and see who exactly said it. But if you didn't
I
say
think
that,
it was Kind. I'm trying to find it right now.
Good comment, Kind. Good comment. Keep buttering him up.
There we go. We got it here. Hold on. Let's pull it up real quick. 1 second. There you go, Matt.
Yeah, Kind did say it. But you know what? But Robbie did put me over. Robbie did say Matt.
See,
it's tough. It's tough. Good luck, buddy.
Everybody else, you guys got like 30 minutes.
Let's go to work.
So now that they know that Matt's the one picking the MVM, they're going to butter him up a little bit. Great pick, Matt. Good idea.
Oh, great job. Yeah.
You're the man. All right. Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley taking on Raquel Rodriguez. I'm not sure who goes first. I think it might be me. Is it me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's simple. I respect Raquel. I actually consider myself to be a fan of her work. I think she's good. She was good in NXT, and her and Rhea tore the house down in NXT back in the day a couple years ago. So I'm excited for the match. I just feel like no one right now is at the level of Rhea Ripley. Not even Becky Lynch. Not even Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley is in a class of her own, and Raquel is just not big enough yet to take that title. It's that simple. Keeping it short, keeping it sweet. Rhea Ripley for me, Tuck.
I agree with you with the Ripley pick. I think what Raquel's lacking is the Ripley. If we got Raquel Ripley, a personality, an attitude, a reason, right now she's like the kind of like vanilla good chick and big and strong. And I like her.
Don't forget the back flex.
Back dimples.
She is
about the back dimples.
a few lat pull downs away from, oh my gosh, those lats. But I think it's going to be a great match. It's Rhea Ripley's title. This could be a step for Raquel. She can't get over, and Rhea knows how to go for a while. So like, I think it could be a 20-minute match, and Raquel looks real good, really good. But yeah, it's Rhea.
It's definitely going to be a good test for Raquel. That's a fact. Robbie said this is my match of the night. He can't wait for that. This one, Rhea will ultimately win this, but it will be a certified banger. So it seems like a lot of people have optimism going into this one. Ian, are you excited for the match? Because I would say that the match itself is kind of predictable.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. But like you guys said, it's like Raquel has had no character. Like, I mean, I'm compared to AEW, I'm much more casual when it comes to WWE. Don't watch it every single week, but if I was to think about Raquel, she is Liv Morgan's teammate. That's basically all she's been for the longest time. And like you said, this is the perfect opportunity for her to take that step because everyone understands that Raquel is a good wrestler. Everyone understands that Rhea is a good wrestler. They probably know what's going to happen from this match, but they know it's going to be a great match. That's what I've been seeing everywhere on Twitter. Like, Raquel deserves a push. She deserves a character. And I mean, who better to step up to Rhea than Raquel? She's very believable in another powerhouse.
Somebody that can legitimately see eye to eye with Rhea Ripley.
Correct, yes. But it's going to be Rhea Ripley retaining. But again, like you said, I'm excited for this match. And I really didn't know much about Raquel's work in NXT. So looking forward.
Matt, what are your thoughts on Raquel and the way she's been booked so far in the main roster?
It's very vanilla. If I didn't know her from NXT, I would have no reason to be into anything that she's done. And she's had,
Agreed.
To your point, title reign with Liv. I make a joke and just say, it's like, okay, you show your back off, you got your back dimples, great. And you smile. Awesome. What else is there to you? And it's not the fault of her, it's how she's been presented. And boy, can we talk a long time about how the women have been presented in some of the major companies. We don't need to go down that road probably, but
we'll be here for 5 hours like we were talking about pre-show.
Yeah, man. So we know it's not her time, but what I am looking forward to though is we do know behind the scenes they are really good friends. Typically, really good friends. You go out there, you throw some live ones, you apologize later for it, and you have a good match. So I think the match is going to be great, and hopefully this gets her propelled to some type of story where she can sink her teeth into, her being Raquel. And she's, shows a little bit more than just her back off and her smile.
Yeah. And you brought up like the only reason I'm into Raquel probably is because I enjoyed her work in NXT when she was tagging with Dakota Kai. I thought they were like a legitimate tag team you could bring to the main roster and let them do stuff for a couple of years, but that ultimately didn't happen. They go in their separate directions, but correct me if I'm wrong. You're going with Rhea Ripley, correct? I might have missed it.
I am going with Rhea, yes.
Okay, let's run to the chat then, because we still got 2 more matches here on Payback and All Out to get to, people. So we're gonna be moving through quick here. Robbie said Liv return might happen to try to help Raquel win. I don't know if she's okay to return. I don't know either, but that would be very interesting. And it seems like everybody else in the chat going with Rhea Ripley as well. So 2 more matches here on Payback. This one's going to take place in a steel cage, a matchup that we thought we were going to be getting at SummerSlam in Detroit when we made the trip there a couple weekends ago, Tuck. But it's happening here at Payback instead. First off, your thoughts on the length of the feud and who you think is going to prevail here.
Becky Lynch. It's drug on for me a little bit. I'm starting to get exhausted, but I do think Becky Lynch gets the win. And we're done with it. And she starts going up the card. Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, give me that. We'll see you.
Tuck, do you think Trish Stratus will still be used on television after this match, or do you think they're just kind of using her for this feud and then she's off?
I don't know how much more she's going to wrestle, but I love her with Zoe Stark kind of as a manager still. I do like that dynamic. I'm more interested in Zoe Stark because of what could be in the future and that stock compared to what Trish Stratus is and will be. I do see her sticking around. I don't know how much she's going to wrestle. Well, then you have the Trish Stratus Zoe Stark feud that you could go with.
Right.
She's, that could be a good win for her, as was the Cena win for Theory was supposed to be.
Right. Keyword supposed to. I like what you said about Zoe Stark too, because I really think she got the chance to shine in that main event on Monday Night Raw. I thought her and Becky tore the house down there to close out the show this week. So good stuff from those two. Ian, what you got in this one?
Yeah, like you said, the feud has been a long time coming and way too long. And honestly, I think from a management perspective, they probably thought they struck gold. I feel like they're still under the assumption that everyone loves Becky Lynch. And I've said it before, I was never a huge fan of the man. Like maybe a month after her nose started bleeding during the match. That was about it, really. And then when she became the double champ, that was pretty cool. But now it's just kind of like, okay, we get it. And it's just nothing's clicking for me at all. Never has. But this is the time to reinvent yourself if you're going to do it. But Becky Lynch needs a win. I think there's stuff to dive into with Trish Stratus and Zoe Starks, like you said. And as you also said, I am invested in Zoe Starks. I like what she's doing right now. And I don't know how old she is, but I think she has a pretty long career coming up.
Let's play the game. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. How old is Zoe Stark?
31.
She don't know who Zoe Stark is, okay, guys. So we're not going to get the answer there. We
29.
tried. It usually works.
29, January 25th, 1994.
Perfect.
Younger than me. All right. That's
You're
good
old
to know. This is a good comment here. It's interesting because Robbie thinks Trish could potentially retire after this match. Matt, I kind of want to get the same thoughts as I asked Tuck. Do you see Trish, participating if she were to lose here after, or is this going to be it for her?
Yeah, I think she's around. I think she's still around after this. She actually made a comment, and I'm like, I don't know how that would work, where she wants to get in the ring with Rhea. She just made that comment recently. I don't know about that. But
do we need that?
No, we do not. And I love me some Trish. I love me some Trish from the 90s, the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for her Hall of Fame induction. Now she's back. This feud has not clicked almost ever. Their promo segments have been brutal. It really feels like they've never talked backstage. And what we see out there, they're like, hey, we'll call it out there. Don't worry about it. We'll figure out what we'll say. We'll figure out what we'll do in the matches. In case in point, look at Monday. Zoe and Becky had a banger of a match. And I've also not been the highest on Becky. To me, for the last couple months, it feels like she's playing wrestler and she's not a wrestler. Hopefully she's good with, her mental and everything. I know she talked about just how bad she went through postpartum and everything with after, having the baby. So shout out to her. Hopefully she's good there. But this just hasn't worked at all. So I was excited to see her kind of back in her element on Monday against Zoe. This one, I think, is pretty clear cut. I said on our pod this past Wednesday, I don't think outside of Roman Reigns, we've never seen a long, drawn-out feud where the heel wins the feud. They may win a couple matches, but at the end of the day, the positive, the good always prevails. And I think that's what we see this time with Becky. And then I'll be interested to see what's next for Becky. I think she goes to NXT and we see a couple of matches with her and the NXT champion.
Really? Her and Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany was on Raw Monday. Tiffany cut a promo on NXT last week and she mentioned Becky's name. I think that's the way to go.
Way to pay attention to details. Sometimes I just miss stuff like that. Ian, what were you going to say?
I'm going to say one thing. You're missing a feud where the heel actually won. The Kurt Angle. He lost to Baron Corbin at WrestleMania. Just saying. He retired him. So
that is true. But was that really a feud or please don't bring that up. Oh my God.
We brought it up last week too.
Yeah, we did.
If you want to hear it on episode 160, tune in next week.
There are some matches where you just say, what in the world were you thinking? That's got to be that's up there. That may be
got to be top 5.
That may be top 3.
definitely
last
a
15
come
years.
on, man.
That's exactly
That
what
was bad.
is. I'm gonna make it short and sweet. It's Becky Lynch. I was very excited going into this feud when it initially started because you got one of the greatest of all time in Trish Stratus, and who's probably one of the greatest of all time too, in Becky Lynch. You put them together, usually sparks fly, and that hasn't really happened. So I think it could be a good match. I think Steel Cage is good for Trish. I think that's an easier style to work at her age. So should be a good one, and Becky prevails to come out on top. So what I think will be the main event is or it should be, for the World Heavyweight title. We still haven't seen Seth Rollins' main event, a PLE, with the World Heavyweight title, so you might as well do it here when there's no bloodline match whatsoever. Ian, you get to go first here. We got Seth Rollins looking to retain against Shinsuke, who really has just been attacking his back the last couple weeks and cutting vignettes.
This one is honestly tough for me because my heart really wants Shinsuke to get some gold and have a meaningful run with that gold. And I think I'm going to go with my heart because, we got 6 matches. We might as well have some fun. Shinsuke with a new character. He's being a little bit more edgy, and I think he brings it to him. And I think we maybe even see a new jump in what Shinsuke could do in the ring, maybe a little bit more brutal. And, Seth's held the title for a decent amount of time now.
A couple months, yeah.
So I don't think it's too early for him to lose the title, even though it's a workhorse championship. But what you could do is Shinsuke with this title and really develop his character. It's been what he's been missing. He's always had a character. He's just never had a chance to really develop it. If that makes any sense. So besides when he debuted, but let's see what he could do.
Do you like the approach of this new Shinsuke where it's kind of just centered backstage segments that have subtitles and he seems more like a villain?
Yeah, I think that's been kind of missing. We've never really had a foreign champ that doesn't really he speaks the language, but on character speaking a different language. And I
right.
It's immediately you want to boo. And that's exactly what is working with it. So
it's like Iron Sheik back in the day.
Exactly. Yes. So let's see what he could do with it. I want Shinsuke to win. So let's have him win.
Matt, before you make your pick, I want to get to a few of the comments here. Kyan said that Tiffany said being on Raw just felt right. So Kiana James could take that belt off of Tiffany and then she debuts on Raw. I don't know if Kiana James would be the answer for the next champion. It feels like it'd be a little too soon. What do you think, Matt?
Very, very soon for Kiana. And I like Kiana a lot, but yeah, I think Tiffany needs a little bit more time still in NXT. She's going to be a star. She's going to be an absolute star. And NXT is doing really well in the ratings right now. I don't know if now is the time to place her on Raw. It could be the time once again for some more top talent from WWE main roster to go to NXT and kind of bolster up a little bit of that roster.
Yeah, for sure. So with this match, I know you alluded to it a little earlier that tag team title might influence your pick here. So what are you cooking up over there?
We got to have some fun because to your point, no bloodline yet. They're doing it. They're doing the Jimmy promo segment on
True.
SmackDown, which just seems like they really want to get in before Payback. It was scheduled, of course, last week before the deaths happened. So we're getting that. So I don't know what that looks like, but no Cody. He's going to be on the Waller effect, but no Cody match. So yeah, you would think, okay, it's time for Seth to main event. Let's have some fun and let's go with Damian Priest walking out world champion.
There it is.
Let's have some fun.
I like it. And I think it's kind of probably along the lines of what this comment says here on screen, that because of the back issues, he'll be, a little weak after Shinsuke targets that all match.
And there you go. And it protects Shinsuke. So he can, kind of how Asuka was protected for the SummerSlam finish. He can get a rematch. Seth is going to be protected because it's his back. He just wrestled a grueling match. We know how that works. But I think that Seth's reign has been good. But I think Seth's song is more over than Seth is. And I think you are able to take that belt off of Seth. He be fine. And, maybe they do a rematch. I don't know what that looks like. But if it's not now for Damian, I don't know when else you pull the trigger with him.
Yeah, and I think this is the perfect time of the year to try things like that. We're not on the road to WrestleMania, you know. So if the Damian Priest experiment as world champion fails, at least you tried it in September, October, November, and then okay, Royal Rumble's heating up, so let's go to the big time players that we know are going to deliver. So I agree with you that I think if it's not now, then when will it be? So I'm going to agree with you, kind of like what the comment section was saying too. I have Seth winning the match. I think we're going to have that match finish. Seth retains the title, but, you know, the back's going to be weak. They can use that as the story. Damian Priest walks out of Payback with the world title. I don't know how long that reign would be. I don't know if that feud is with Seth Rollins and Shinsuke going forward. I guess we will find out. But I got Seth Rollins winning the match, retaining the title to eventually be cashed in on by Damian Priest successfully, Tuck.
And that's the same for me. So Seth, if we're talking about just who's winning the match, yes, give me Seth.
Gotcha. All right, Tucky, what you got?
I'm going with Shinsuke. I've got Judgment Day winning gold earlier in the night, and I don't know if we need another two-strap champion other than the tag team two-strap champions. Roman Reigns with his titles, what's one title now thing. So we're going with Shinsuke, and Damian Priest is nowhere to be found.
And then they just keep teasing that going forward. All right.
Confidence in that's at about a 4. So
do you like the idea of Damian Priest take the Pix hat off and put the fan hat on? Would you want to see a cash in Payback?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I'm not dying for it yet. Like the Judgment Day is intriguing with me right now with him holding the briefcase. So like I'm still satiated with that. I think Shinsuke winning is cool, but they're advertising the house show at Lake Tahoe, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight title.
Ooh, interesting.
But again,
when's that house show again?
October 1st.
Ooh.
But that
ask Tony Khan.
That could be changed
hard
in a
subject
minute.
to change.
Yeah. You know,
that is true, especially with the house show. But that could be a sign of things to come. You know, like we've seen that before from house shows that we've attended. They put out the card in advance. So yeah, that concludes our picks. Though you'll be able to fill out yours. We will share it on the socials. We still got one more show to talk about. And it's the show that Ian and I will be in attendance for. Matt, did you end up buying all out tickets?
Yes, we will be in the building as well.
Where are your seats at?
We are, I think, section 121. So we're
you're down.
Cam side. Yeah, hard cam side right there. So hopefully it's a good show. Hopefully it's a good show. Before we go to the picks, I gotta ask you three. Scale of 1 to 10, what is your excitement level and what do you think this card is at in terms of a proper pay-per-view? Take out that we had All In. It's not our fault as fans that they decided to go back-to-back. You know, I don't know if he planned on having it on Max and then this one was traditional pay-per-view or what. But give it to me. Give me what 1 to 10, your excitement level, and 1 to 10 from a card perspective.
Tuck, I want you to answer it first because you're not going. I feel like it's not fair to judge that as somebody that's going to the show.
Yeah, so like excitement level, I'm at like a 6, but I my value on the card's a little bit higher. I've got it at like an 8 because there's a lot of like kind of quirky matchups, stuff like that, like the FTR Young Bucks match against Bullet Club Gold. That's intriguing to me. I don't like in a week you could get there and that would make sense and you're going to get a good match. So the storytelling's not super strong. It's weird. If I have to pay $50 again, I'm going to be kind of pissy about it.
That's $100 in 2 weeks on AEW pay-per-views, and you're not even going to the show.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. I think the card is better than my excitement level right now, if that makes sense. I think it's got potential. I'm looking forward to some of the matchups.
Ian, what about yourself?
Like the actual all-out show, maybe a 6 out of 10. Even I'm going in person too. I'm more just excited for the weekend. That's kind of the thing that's been carrying me this whole entire time. But the actual show, 6 out of 10 card. I can't really give you a prediction on the card or like my excitement level for the actual card. There's a few matches I'm kind of like cool about, but I feel like it's very predictable. If that makes any sense, it's like a Dynamite, but on a bigger stage.
So that's how I was going to answer Matt's question. I was like, it's a really good Dynamite. So my excitement level is like a 7 out of 10, but that's not saying the show can't be more than that. I mean, they were put in, like you said, a tough situation, just having All Out a week before. How are you supposed to build that card to All Out and it be,
he wants to do it next year already. He said he's doing it again next year. Same spots.
And is All Out going to stay a week after too?
Same.
Oh no.
He said it's all about tradition.
It's a bank holiday in both.
He said he thinks it's a great tradition, which honestly, I would have to maybe think about missing All Out in terms of going in person.
Yes.
And it's not that I'm not super down on this card. AEW pay-per-views are always going to be good. This show, after we leave and after we get through watching it on TV, you're going to say it was either good or great. The show is not going to be average. The show is not going to suck. But when you're talking about $100 in a 7-day time span, and I think even bigger than that, you're coming off of your biggest show in history. You got to give it time to breathe a little bit. And there was no time to breathe. And then we're going to take All Out, and then we're going to go right to Arthur Ashe Stadium in a couple weeks. So there's some matches they're holding back. For that,
about Arthur Ashe.
They're talking about. They talked on Dynamite. The tournament starts for MJF's title.
MJF's got a title fight. Yeah.
I'm not going to give the spoiler of who won the Rampage Tag Team Battle Royal to take on Better Than You, Baby.
We know who it is.
Oh my God!
Dark Order, right? Yeah, I figured.
I do want to say this real quick. So, I mean, I think they could save it with next year because I feel like they struck gold. Like Tony struck gold with All In and then All Out right away. Well, didn't strike gold, but it happened bigger than he thought it was this year, and I don't think he was really ready. Now he's got a full year. Sure. I mean, just putting a lot of trust in Tony Khan and his booking. You need to develop some long storylines. Maybe treat it like WrestleMania with night 1, night 2. You have enough talent to do that. Do you have enough?
That'd be the way to do it.
I mean, and just like a one-time purchase of like maybe $75 for both nights. But I don't think he's that smart, sadly. He's just a mark.
Oh, boo.
Well, I mean, but even past him being smart, think about what that looks like to the talent, though. Okay, so hey guys, you're gonna work Wembley in front of 70,000. Hey, and then night 2, you're gonna work United Center in front of 12,000.
Yeah.
That's a tough pill to swallow because either way it goes, one's gonna
it's
look
A-B. Yeah,
it's you know what I mean.
Well, to be
you
fair,
can't
also,
make it look equal.
I was gonna say with that though, All Out has that tradition. It's kind of like All Out is an AEW show. All In is just basically, I mean, it's a tradition in the fact that it was the first show, but it wasn't All In with 80,000 people. Tuck, I see your face. Quit it.
All right.
But no, it's like All Out. We know what All Out is, and it's an established pay-per-view, and now I guess All In is too, if you want to consider it. So yeah, that would be my only.
Kind said can confirm Robbie has fell asleep, so good night to Robbie. Now Matt has an easy choice for who he's going to give the MDM to. It's the last man standing at this point, so congrats to Kind, who's probably going to walk away with the award.
As you should.
Show, but we got about 8 to 10 matches, probably. I don't know. I didn't really count them, so some of these ones we're going to kind of breeze through. This one, I don't think we need to spend a lot of time. Ian, I'll let you start this one off. We got a tag team match between Eddie Kingston Shibata taking on the Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Who do you got?
I'm going with Claudio and Yuta, and I want something to develop with Eddie and Claudio. I think there's something to be told there, and I think there will be a fight afterwards with this. But I think Claudio and Yuta need
media scrum.
What?
We need a media scrum. Another one.
No.
The brawl out at All Out with Eddie and Claudio.
Sure don't.
Keep the tradition going. What do you say? Matt, what you got for this one?
I'm just going to go opposite because I'm very excited for the show. I am. I think it's going to be a great show. But if you went Claudio and Yuta, give me Eddie and Shibata.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I'm just picking. I'm just going opposite.
Sure. I think All In's going to have a big influence on my All Out picks. Knowing Eddie had the win at All In and the BCC lost makes me think that they're going to get one back here. So I'm going to switch the picks. All Out goes to the Blackpool Combat Club. What do you think, Tuck?
My wife loves Eddie Kingston because of the way he walks with his belly. So that's comment A. But Eddie and Shibata are going to actually win. They're going to get jumped by Claudio and Yuta after, and that's going to send us to the Claudio and Eddie feud. We'll see ya. Claudio and Yuta will be losing to Eddie and Shibata. Super confident in that.
Yeah, I can tell. I can hear the confidence in your voice when you made that selection there, Tucky. Of course, you'll be able to fill out your AEW predictions. Tucky is still the OTM AEW champion, and you can fill out your predictions at bit.ly/OTM All Out 23.
That card, the all-in card, was a wood chipper. I won with a 7-4 record.
Really? It wasn't even a convincing win.
Ian was winning a lot until the end. He's the only one that picked Hook. And so he was off to a hot start. He was holding the lead, and then his card fell apart middle to end. But I tied with a number of people, I think, and that helped me retain. So I wasn't the only 7-4 card, but champion's advantage.
Yeah, Kine wants to make sure that when you do announce that he is the MVM, that he is still the MVM, because he is the current MVM. Of course,
duly noted, sir. Duly noted.
He's a man that knows his value for sure. So, Matt, you get to start us off for this one. It's a hoss fight between my boy Miro taking on Powerhouse Hobb. Two guys that you could say both desperately need a win.
And there it is. So I would love to say DQ finish. I would love to go count out finish. I would love to go Wardlow interferes and lays them both out. No contest. But I have to pick somebody because you're right, man. They both need to win this. Miro hasn't had anything major since he's been back. He's had a couple of squashes on Collision. Power Hobbs has done nothing since he's lost the TNT title, but carry his Bible around and tell people what's going on with it. This is a hard one.
It's tough. Yeah.
Give me Hobbs, even though I don't really believe that, because reason why Miro was sitting at home for 9 months because he didn't want to put somebody over. So maybe he learned.
I may or may not have heard that same thing.
Maybe he learned, but what the hell? Let's go Hobbs.
I've got to have a lot of conversations with Matt underneath me here at the last shows that we were at, and I heard the same things about Miro and the way that he is being booked. So thinking under that thought, I'm going to go with Miro to win because I think Miro wants to win. And so, I mean, it's that simple. I think it's going to be an exciting hoss fight. I love these guys. They're both extremely talented, but it's just Miro's got more upside in terms of like a world heavyweight champion. I think we want to build him up to that. So beating Hobbs would be a good win. So I'm going with Miro, Chuck.
I agree with everything you said, Gags. I'm going Miro.
Game over.
Yeah, I'm also going Miro. I mean, when's the last time he had a pay-per-view win in general? Because I couldn't tell you.
When was the last time he was on a pay-per-view?
I couldn't even tell if he's won on a pay-per-view. Honestly.
I think Tuck's going to go to the research lab here and find out the last time Miro was on a pay-per-view.
It's been a long time.
I'm really curious. Yeah, I feel like it's been almost a year.
All Out 2022, Darby Allin, Miro, and Sting defeated the House of Black.
A year.
He has wrestled 3 matches since then.
Oh, gosh.
Defeating Tony Nese and Anthony Henry in June, and he defeated Nick Camarado in July. Collision.
So he needs this win.
Yes, desperately. At least
and we know QT's team is going to interfere, is going to backfire, but I just like doing opposites on this show. So I'm still sticking with Hobbs. I don't know why.
Respect that.
Years since he's been on pay-per-view. That's insane. Tuck, you talked about this matchup a little bit earlier, and it is the 4-man tag match between FTR and the Young Bucks taking on Bullet Club Gold. This one's interesting because FTR and the Young Bucks obviously just had a really good match at All In. FTR retains, which I thought was surprising. So it makes sense now that they are teaming up here. They're not going to be a cohesive unit. The Bullet Club Gold is 4 solid guys that are, in it together. the math says that FTR Young Bucks are going to cost each other the match. They're going to lose. And that sets up another matchup for the tag team titles between those two teams. So I think Bullet Club Gold needs a win more. I think they need to start stacking some wins and make a push towards some titles. So I'm going to go with Bullet Club Gold here.
This is going to be a fun one. I think it's a perfect kind of match for a pay-per-view a week after a pay-per-view where like you don't need much to get invested in this match because of who's in the match. I am kind of leaning towards your logic where they booked the FTR and the Young Bucks as the trilogy, but that match was great. And why leave it at 3 when you can have 4 kind of thing? And that's a match where you can go to the well and still continue building other tag teams in the division. So I agree. I'm going Bullet Club Gold. Should be a fun one.
Yeah, it should. Cage My IQ said Jay White pinning Cash Wheeler. Bang, bang, gang. So shout out to Cage stopping by. Love the pick there. Ian, what you got?
I also have FTR and Young Bucks not being cohesive and losing this match, but I think there's a reason for it. I think down the line, I don't know where it could be, Revolution maybe, or maybe just on some crazy, maybe whatever. Arthur Ashe, yeah. You have a four-way tag match for the titles. Maybe it's a ladder match. You could do something fun with it. I think Bullet Club Gold, they are over. People love them, and they are highly entertaining. I love it. But they need to be credible, like you guys said, and they need this win. I mean, you're pinning someone is going to pin, or maybe not pin, but you're going to beat tag champions and established champions. So, name a better win for the Bullet Club?
No, you're not wrong, and we can't forget Bullet Club Gold does have an extra member. The cutout of Jay White might be ringside. I don't know if he was banned or not, so we'll have to find out at All Out. Matt, what are you thinking for this one?
And if there's anybody outside of CM Punk that Collision has taken care of, it is Bullet Club Gold and Ricky Starks. Think about where Bullet Club Gold was 45 days ago. They weren't dead in the water, but that lifeline was not moving that much on that screen. And now, to your guys' point, they are doing some fantastic work. This is, to me, like the quintessential house show match. If you've ever been to a house show, you know that match that you are here just for the fun and you know it's going to be awesome. Give me Bullet Club Gold in this one. To your guys' point of they're hot. There's no need to mess with it. And there'll be something that Arthur Ashe is going to get them involved in the title match.
This comment made me laugh. Jay White's cardboard cutout is more over than most AEW stars.
That's a shoot.
What's more over, Jay White's cardboard cutout or Jake Hager's purple hat?
Oh,
Cardboard cutout right now.
Yeah, his hat's dead.
Yeah, he said he liked that hat, though. I don't know if you guys caught that.
So
Jake Hager liked that hat.
I thought I saw that on Twitter once.
Does he, Tuck, you would maybe know, does he have the figure with the hat yet or no?
Oh, I don't know.
I just know you collect, so I didn't know if you saw that design or not. I feel like that would be...
I'm getting better. I am starting to not buy figures all the time, 24 a lot now. So
I wonder why you're not spending a lot of money recently.
I've made that announcement, right? The baby, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I'm like,
Matt, if you didn't know, Tuck's the father to be. His first
Congrats,
is incoming in January. Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Very excited. Yeah. So I'm like, what? I don't know. Did we tell the people?
So Matt, we've been doing this since 2019, and Tuck recently moved a couple years ago back to Nevada. And I just would every single week would look in the background. It gradually just got bigger.
It's more and more.
And bigger. It's $14. So
I mean, you do have a problem. You do have a problem, but it's a good problem.
Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, it's an investment for sure. That's something.
One of the better looking man cave.
I got to cover it in plexiglass with this fucking kid.
Yeah. Watch out for that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Here we go. Another match on All Out. A match that could main event. I don't know what's going to main event because it really isn't that clear-cut, decision for that match. So I think this one could be an option. You got Kenny Omega taking on Konosuke Takeshita. This is, I believe, the first time we've seen these two go at it in singles action in AEW, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
It's definitely something I feel like they've been building up to recently. I don't think it's going to be the end of things, though. Matt, I believe you're first. A good match. I'm excited for it. How are you feeling for this one?
This is my main event. This is the match that if I was buying a ticket for this show, this is the match for me. I think this is going to be far and away the best work match in that square circle. Now, if you're talking about picking, Kenny has not won a match since he has parted ways.
Oh,
he has not. He's lost every single match. I think he's like 0-7 or something like that. Yes. So, do you continue that and you keep the story going, or is this where it ends? Takeshita, they won at All Out or All In?
I mean,
this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Give me Takeshita.
See,
Give me
Takeshita. I want to do that, but you threw the stat at us that
the question is, how big are Tony's balls? That's where I'm at with this one. I still don't
because Takeshita is made. If he beats Kenny, and hell, let's even go clean. Say he beats him clean in the middle. He's a made man. Now the follow-up is what's going to be important. But does Kenny really get anything from beating Takeshita at this point? I don't think they have to be telling the story with him not winning a match since he split away from Don. I just don't think that story ends Sunday. So give me
going off that story, Cage My IQ, he says Don Callis trying to take out Jericho and Omega separately, sort of at the same time too. You know what? Fuck it. You're not going to win championships in this business playing it safe.
There you go.
Konosuke Takeshita is going to defeat Kenny Omega clean in that ring at the United Center, and the internet's going to go crazy. Takeshita's that dude. I mean, Kota Ibushi used to be that guy back then. It's now Takeshita. He is the future. So I think he gets a win over the best bout machine here. Call me crazy, Tuck, but I'm going with Takeshita.
Can we do a little truth circle here?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to say Omega on camera and then pick Takeshita on the Google form. I think that's what's going to happen.
Now everybody heard what you're doing.
I know, truth circle. I just want to be clear. The Google form is the record. I'm going to argue for Kenny Omega because he needs a win. And I don't want to just say that Matt convinced me that it was Takeshita. So Kenny Omega, it's going to be a great match. There are many things that can come out of it. Kenny Omega is going to get a win. Yep.
Confidence level at an all-time high once again for Jim Tucker. Ian, what's your pick?
I'm tired of going last because I was going to say Takeshita, but now it's not. I don't think this is I don't think it's a surprise pick, honestly. You have Takeshita, you have Don Callis in his corner, and he uses that screwdriver or whatever he uses to the head of Omega almost every single match. Omega, he's bulletproof. You could squash him, and he's still Kenny Omega. There's nothing that could harm that man's reputation. And I know Takeshita was Omega's first-hand man. He said, this is the guy. This is your new face AEW later on. So let's build that now. I don't want to go to Takeshita, though. Like you said, Gags, I want to do a shot in the dark. I'm going Omega. Why not?
Ooh.
I think Takeshita's winning. I'm going Omega.
You have the Tucky approach.
A couple ticket numbers about AEW All Out just coming through from WrestleTix. Gotcha. The last time they ran the United Center was June 17th of this year for an AEW Collision drawing 9,280. They are currently at 9,049 tickets sold for AEW All Out.
Collision. Oh my
God.
They haven't even. Yeah, they got to cross 10,000. I'm in the balcony, so if there's less than 10,000, you better move me downstairs. That's all I'm saying. We're not staying up there if you can't fill out the top section.
The current setup is for 11,000 only. So I don't know what that means. They're set up. The ticket map is for 11,000. So we'll see.
We will. There's still a couple more days here. So maybe if something big happens on Rampage, which from what Matt was saying, I don't think anything huge happened with the Dark Order winning, or on Collision, maybe they'll get some extra tickets. But I don't think this match is why people are buying tickets. No disrespect to Shane Taylor, but not really the household name that all these wrestling fans come and pay to see. But Samoa Joe, the guy he's facing, is a bad motherfucker. So I'm going with Samoa Joe to win. It's that simple. Shane Taylor's not under contract to my knowledge. So I'm going to go with the guy that is. And Samoa Joe, he gets a bounce back win after losing to CM Punk. Tucky?
I'm going to go with Samoa Joe. Don't know a lick about this match. I'm out.
Right on. That's fair. Ian?
Basically the same. Besides, I know that Shane Taylor is the longest reigning television champ. Formally, I should say.
Former ROH television champ, yep.
But I think it's Samoa Joe. I mean, I did look him up. Shane Taylor, I was like, maybe there's a reason if he's really young, maybe he has a chance. He's 37 years old. He ain't winning this thing.
You saying 37's old?
Yeah.
The fuck? Not that far away.
Just a couple more years, right?
All right.
Shane Taylor won the TV title tournament. So there's another fun fact from Cage My IQ. Matt, I'm assuming you're going with Samoa Joe here.
Give me Samoa Joe, but also cue the Big E clip. Big meaty man slapping meat. That is what this match is going to be. I am familiar with Shane Taylor. I'm happy that he's in this spot. I don't know if it should be on the actual card when there's only one women's match so far on this show. Goes back to what we just talked about 15 minutes ago. But I do think that this is going to be a hard-hitting, fun match. This is one of those, hey, live is going to be better probably than it will be on TV. But yes, give me Samoa Joe.
Can I just say this really quick? Just really quick. Like you said with the one match, we're seeing a lot of ROH wrestlers in this. Where is Athena? She is having one of the most underrated years of all time. And it's ridiculous.
There's a chance we see her on 0 Hour if Billy Starks can get cleared. I guess she's hurt. Why does it matter if she gets cleared or not? No, that's when you make a spot for Athena and say, yes, Athena, you've been killing it all year. Arguably one of the best women's wrestlers of the entire year across the stratosphere of pro wrestling. Get that girl on the show, but no, we got to put her on 0 Hour for some reason. That's
you know what's bad about all that too. You guys talk about the year Athena is having, and I think Tuck might agree with me here. I didn't know anything about it. I watch a lot of wrestling, but I don't have enough time to pay attention to what people are doing in Ring of Honor, Impact. There's just too much wrestling going on each week. I'm not aware of how well she's doing. So that's what's unfortunate about all this is we're not getting to visually see it on the mainstream television.
That's the thing too, is ROH is behind a paywall. You can't see it unless you pay some extra cash every month to watch this. I've been keeping up on social media and just watching it through there. Otherwise, I would be watching ROH because I know that they've been cooking up something over there. Yeah. You can't see it.
Tony Khan said, hold on, it's taking a while to load. I might have said depends on Starks is cleared or not since they have a storyline going on. I saw a rumor of Starks versus Ricky Steamboat in a strap match. I hope that's not real.
So is that not on your list of potential
It's
matches?
not. So is that official then?
Yeah. So on Collision, Ricky Starks is going to challenge Ricky Steamboat to a strap match for All Out. So now we can go with, hey, is that a placeholder for if they can figure this stuff out with Punk? Punk comes in, makes a save Saturday, and then we get that match. Because that was supposed to be the main event of All Out. It was supposed to be Starks and CM Punk.
That makes sense. Yep.
So, but if this whole thing still does not get rectified by Saturday night, who you guys going with Ricky Starks and Ricky Steamboat in a strap match?
I'm going to Ricky Steamboat. He's got a lot more upside.
Am I adding that to the form?
No, we're not going to add that.
Are you sure?
It's an OTM decision, or my decision. I don't know. You guys can vote. I don't want to add it.
I'll just say it has not been formally announced at this point, and we do publish the forms on show days.
Okay, so
that's weird.
Maybe you'll see it on the Google form when you're making your predictions. But
we said you're not. I just said you're not going to see it on the form.
It could be on there.
Well, maybe it will
not be on there.
What if I add it?
You don't know.
I think Kynes' comment is the best comment of this entire thing. He said, "I think Ricky could win."
The battle.
They're
the
both
battle of the Rickies.
Love it.
Let's get Ricky.
Can we start that chant at all out?
Let's go, Ricky.
Ricky sucks.
Let's go, Ricky.
So, Matt, you hear that coming from section 307 or wherever the hell we're at? Yeah,
I will have it
effect.
down. I will have it down in our section too. I got you.
Good.
The angelic Mark voices coming down from the nosebleeds.
Tuck's gonna hear that chant, be like, "My friend started." It's gonna be a great moment. We still have 4 more matches here, and we are at an hour 15. Adam Cole and MJF, better than you, baby, taking on the Dark Order. Tuck, you get to go first.
Adam Cole and MJF, keep it going. Dark Order can't win in a week like the days before. It's not a thing.
All right, Ian.
Adam Cole, MJF.
Matt, I think we can keep this one short and sweet, right?
Ditto.
Yeah. It's not Dark Order. It's better than you, baby.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be entertaining. I love their double clothesline spot in the singles match. Like, come on. That's great stuff right there. And then to have it finish in a draw, that was a well-booked main event, in my opinion. But the one women's match, Matt talked about it, that is on the card is Chris Statlander, the TBS champion, taking on Ruby Soho. Ruby still hasn't got a title since joining AEW, and Statlander is someone we really haven't seen much of. Yes, she's been on Rampage here and there, but really nothing on Dynamite or Collision. Ian, you get to go first for this one. I know you're a big fan of Chris Statlander, aren't you?
I am. I think she is incredibly good. Her character, could use a little work, but from what I could tell, I'm pretty sure it was an injury reason. Like, she was still recovering and trying to take it easy and didn't want to risk anything because she's had that knee injury, which is pretty rough to deal with. But let's have Statlander keep the title because she might be ready to start something, start a storyline, get something crazy going.
Yeah, Cage My IQ also saying Stat wins. What you thinking here, Matt?
What's the crazy thing going, though?
No, get something going. I meant to say like a women's storyline. That's pretty crazy.
Like a legitimate story instead of just Ruby kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yes.
Well, we do have on Collision the Outcast taking on Stat, Britt, and Sheeta. So we're getting that on Collision. I don't think that matters into the finish here. I'm taking Statlander because I think the Outcast probably are going to break up officially, on Collision. But this would be a great spot to see a returning Jade. They need a shot in the arm, and it looks like Mercedes, of course, is still not cleared to do anything, physical. So she's not going to be there. They need something with some juice with the women's championship. So give me Statlander.
Yeah, Cage in the chat had the same idea. He said Jade comes back maybe after the match. And I think it also has to be Statlander just because of the run that was before with Jade Cargill was so long. I think Chris Statlander is going to have a lengthy reign just to make that title as credible as Jade made it. So Ruby Soho, I think, is a great talent. She really hasn't found her spot at being a star in AEW. She's kind of in the similar role to what she was in WWE as the sidekick. That's kind of just how I viewed her throughout her career, unfortunately, even though she's a really good wrestler. But yeah, I got to go with Chris Statlander here. What about you, Tucky?
I'm going Statlander as well. I don't know why, I don't have a good reason for Soho to win it. And if the Outcasts are going to break up and disband, which we are on the way to, I don't know. The title change doesn't make sense to me right now. And hopefully what Ian said will pay off. Statlander gets into a meaty type feud, something to sink her teeth into.
Yeah, maybe next pay-per-view, Tony, you can book more than one women's match.
When you can, Jade could be that solid next feud, right?
It's just like, are we just going to keep going back to the same feuds we were doing beforehand? For the TBS title?
It's so
even
weird.
though Jade really never got a rematch, did she? I don't think she did.
No. Yeah.
It's so
I guess
weird.
that's fair.
Like the way Tony Khan books, I feel like he just looks like these are my faces, these are my heels. They're just
My
gonna
GM.
They're just gonna fight each other.
My GM.
boom, boom.
Or me getting these figures back here and just starting to go ham.
Yeah, that's basically what it is right now. But also, I do kind of think it's funny that Soho is kind of like an oblivious child that has no idea her parents are just breaking up right now. It's like, why are you going for a title? Your whole group that you circled around is gone. We're about to be gone.
Maybe that's why.
Terrible timing. Terrible timing.
I stink. I'm gonna go get some gold.
Yeah, she's like, all right, well, we're done, so time to move on. Hold on, we got 2 more comments here. 2 more matches and 2 more comments, so we might as well pull them up. And of course, my computer's moving pretty slow. And then it's just kind of saying that Tony does treat it as my GM, and it Cage My IQ coming in with a rumor. He said, if rumors are true, Camille, how do I pronounce that guy's name? Camille could be finished up in NWA. I'm not too familiar with her work. Matt, do you know about Camille?
She's really good. Yes. And you talk about it. The thing is, it's not a talent issue for the most part. It's a booking issue, but she would help tremendously in AEW. She's really, really good.
She's a big girl.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the Jack Blonde girl, isn't she?
Yep. That's her.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know who that is. All right. So I'm not too stupid. Got it. 2 more matches. Luchasaurus. It should say Christian Cage for the amount of times he's holding the title. But Luchasaurus is the TNT champion. He's taking on Darby Allin. And Matt, you get to go first for this one. It's one of the matches on the card. I think it could go 50-50.
You could. And we're looking at the all-in, all-out perspective. Darby and Sting won it all in. Does Darby take a loss here? And I don't know if that makes sense. If you go into, hey, there's a possibility Edge shows up in AEW sooner rather than later, this could be the perfect time to maybe start the split between those two. So give me Darby. He deserves a big win in a big spot at a big show. So give me Darby.
It's hard to disagree with you there. Our good friend Mikey's in the chat. He said, Matt, I don't know you, but your audio is stellar, so I'm already a fan.
Hey, guess what? Mikey, you've already gotten my good graces. Even though my guy Kine has represented for an hour and 21 minutes.
We got to run in.
Through with the buzzer beater.
Oh, yeah.
See, he knows that he goes, it's not one comment that makes it. You got to take it all. For sure. All right. So you're going with Darby Allin. I'm going to go with Darby as well. I think that's the safe bet here, even though Luchasaurus retaining makes a lot of sense too, because Christian can just keep doing what he's doing, because what Christian Cage is doing right now is working. It's very entertaining. I think he's one of the top heels that the company has. So wouldn't be surprised, but I think it makes a lot more sense for Darby to become the new TNT champion and start a new feud. Tuck, what do you think?
I was thinking about this earlier. I'm going to go with Luchasaurus. I think there might be something with Luchasaurus having a feud with Christian Cage. Like at some point, if Luchasaurus is going to become something, he's going to have to become something. And I think Christian Cage could be a good option for him to become something. Jack Perry beat Christian Cage in the coffin match. And so Christian could be a guy that does kind of propel Luchasaurus even further. I think they need the title to do that. Maybe. That's why I'm going to go with Luchasaurus just to mix it up.
That makes sense. I like it.
I'm also going with Luchasaurus to win. Tuck, why do we keep agreeing when they pick the other? I don't get it, but I like it.
With every I don't. Am I looking at it? With every pick, I feel that AEW title slipping away. Like I'm not. It's kind of like a meat grinder of a card. Maybe could happen. I'm scared because of what happened at All In, and then I just tell myself, what would Ian pick? You know, Ian's got a good track record with AEW.
Yeah,
right.
That is true.
I was going to say, I don't think this extends a feud between the two groups. I keep saying it. We keep getting hints of Joker Sting, and I love Joker Sting. I want Joker Sting to turn on Darby Allin. This eventually leads to Darby retiring Sting from competition, because his time's got to be up soon. And my God, would that be a great feud and put Darby over to the moon? If you retire Sting, like there's writing on the wall for it, and I think it just needs to happen.
that would definitely take him to an even different level than he's already at right now. So I would love to see that, and it's a good idea. The match that I think could main event, it's probably my main event, the one I'm at least the most excited for, is Orange Cassidy, the international champion, taking on his toughest challenger to date, Jon Moxley. And I want to put it on the record that Orange Cassidy should be in conversation for Wrestler of the Year. For the amount of times he's been put on TV, the amount of times he's defended that title, and the quality of matches has just been superb. So I'm going to have to say that first off. Second off, I think this is an event where it has to come to an end, unfortunately. I would like to see Orange Cassidy get the win over Jon Moxley. I think that would be huge for him. But if Orange Cassidy does beat Jon Moxley, I just don't know who could be that person to take that title away from Orange Cassidy, because I think Jon Moxley is one of the more credible guys in AEW. So I think Jon finds a way, adds a little bit even more prestige to the international championship, which I think Orange Cassidy did a great job as champion. But give the man a break for a little bit. Let him take a month or two off. I'm going with Jon Moxley here.
Yeah, I've got a lot of this same thought. I think it might be time for Orange Cassidy to take a little bit of time off. I'm kind of worried about him. He's kind of a human wrecking ball a little bit.
I'm tired. I don't want to be here.
Mostly putting credibility into the title. How concerned are they to do that? Jon Moxley instantly makes it a more credible title because I don't know who else. Like, if Orange Cassidy beats Jon Moxley, who's next? Like you said.
Yeah. Like you guys said, it's time for Cassidy to lose it. And again, just going to keep reiterating, I don't know who wins. Who would beat Cassidy if Jon Moxley, the most violent man in wrestling, doesn't beat as Cage My IQ said, he said, Orange Cassidy taped together by duct tape. I mean, he's putting it out on the line saying, hey, I'm hurt. And there's going to be one guy in AEW that would take advantage of that, and that's Jon Moxley.
Okay, then let me ask Matt this question, because he's a creative man. If it's not Jon Moxley, give me a name to defeat Orange Cassidy for that title.
A returning Warlow.
Yeah. Okay.
Because where's Warlow? I say it every week on our pod. Where's Warlow?
Where is he? I don't know.
This man was the hottest person in AEW.
Power beat the shit out of MJF.
Come on, man. Talk to him. And then it just went it went away, and he never got it back. To the point where I'm almost like, you know what? Maybe he should just sit out until his contract's up so he can go to WWE. That's how bad I think they've booked him. But that could be it. But I say that's not happening. Moxley's going to beat Orange Cassidy. It's time. It is absolutely time. Orange has, to your point, man, he's top 3 in the rest of the year category, if not top 2.
Sure.
He has put the company in those title defenses on his back. But to your point, he had All In. He wrestled a great match with Penta. You're not beating Moxley, and you are kept together with a couple of paper clips. So it's time. And then what I'm really excited about is maybe we know there's now a October pay-per-view for AEW, right? I think they announced it this
Wrestle Dream, October 1st.
Wrestle Dream, maybe we get a one-on-one match of Moxley and Eddie for the title.
Yeah, I was gonna say that pay-per-view, when he announced it, apparently there's a New Japan show, like a big show scheduled for that day. So it's gonna have to be all AEW that time.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure, isn't the whole idea behind the pay-per-view supposed to be like another Forbidden Door, basically? That's like the premise of it.
It's supposed to be a crossover. It's been hinted at, and especially with it being like in tribute to Antonio Inoki.
Yeah. New Japan show that day, though.
Kynes said his granddad loved Wardlow, so we need to bring back Wardlow for Kynes' granddad for sure. Let's make that happen, TK. I know you're watching the pod.
Shout out to the granddad.
That's right. Still kicking. Love to see it. Cage My IQ with a comment that's taking forever to pull up on my end. He said maybe Takeshita takes it off of Cassidy. Man, I think Takeshita's being built for something big. I think Takeshita could be a world champion in the next year or two. I'm going to put that on the record right now. I'm just going to call my shot right here in 2023. But I think that pretty much concludes the all-out card. I know we had a lot of wrestling to talk about. And, of course, we had to bring in our friend Matt from That's Freakin Wrestling Podcast to do it. But, Matt, you do have the honors. I know you've never been on the show. You probably didn't know what an MVM was before the show. But now you get to announce, yes, now you know now, who is this week's MVM?
MVM. Now, I was going to take the easy way out. I was going to call it a 60-minute Broadway and say it's a tie.
Oh.
But we do need to make sure. Does he usually fall asleep? So Kyan's been rocking. Robbie has not been seen since 7:50.
Having a good nap.
Come on.
My man.
We are in the UK, Matt. These are our UK
okay,
friends.
he is asleep. So, hey, I hope you have a great night's sleep. Robbie, you brought it. But Kyan, my good man,
What a face.
kudos to you, sir. You were rocking and rolling the entire episode with us. So, shout out to you. Thanks for hanging with us.
And still MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling
You sound sad.
Podcast.
Why do you say
Kind.
you sound sad saying that? Is there
I'm
something
not
wrong?
sad. I'm just in my normal voice. Did my voice change?
I mean, there was no enthusiasm. Just, I mean, I get it. Kine does it every single
And
week.
skills
Okay,
aren't exciting.
okay,
Have you ever
all right,
heard of
but
and new?
Okay, but the horny energy here between Ian and Kind, that you don't have to live up to that level, Kyle.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm not going to stoop to that level. I'm going to let their romance keep going. Congrats, Kine, on winning the MVM. Well deserved. Thanks for tuning in. And thanks to everybody that was joining us. It was a long one, but we made it happen. Matt, I want to thank you especially for stopping by to talk some wrestling. I know you're going to be around for the activities going down in Chicago this weekend, but the listeners, tell them a little bit about your podcast, where they can find you guys, and when you're typically pumping out episodes.
Yes, if you guys are watching the YouTube stream, you see it right there. That's F&W. That is our X handle. It's the first time I've ever said X. I always say Twitter, but I'm trying to shoot on your guys' show.
Felt weird, didn't it? Felt weird.
On our X handle. We're also on YouTube at That's Freakin Wrestling. We drop every Sunday and Wednesday, anywhere you get your podcast. We are there for your wrestling needs. If we do not take ourselves too seriously. So if you are into something
I've
that
noticed.
is just, easy to listen to, you want to have a couple laughs, come kick us with us anytime you want to, twice a week on Sundays and Wednesdays.
So I just started listening weekly about a couple weeks ago. I think my favorite part of your podcast is the amount of gunshots that are fired off when shots are fired. I love that addition to the show.
There was a few times I'm like, damn, if I had my soundboard, there was a few times I want to hit the gunshot, but we didn't have it. So yes. And thank you guys for having me. Of course, whenever you guys want to come on our platform, feel free. I am open whenever you guys would like me back. Appreciate it.
Sweet.
Yeah, of course. Cage My IQ even followed you. So there you go. Definitely a great
Okay,
follow on
I
X.
take it back. Guess what? Cage, you win it. Sorry. It was
Whoa,
like
no take back. No take
came
back.
in with the briefcase at the end, hit him over the head. I'm just, hey, there you go.
This guy's booking a crazy show. I love it. All right, Sucky. I think that's all we got for him. So why don't you send us home?
You hit 90 minutes and shit hits the fan, apparently, but in real reality, everyone that stopped in tonight is the MVM. Long show. We had a lot to cover, top to bottom, a lot of people hanging out with us, spending some time. What a great way to spend your Thursday evening. We got a great weekend ahead of us. I am particularly looking forward to the Labor Day weekend WWE AEW combo. I would like that to continue as well. So, we've got a Sunday brunch happening, and then that'll lead us right into All Out on Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves in Chicago. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Pot on the Mark. We're gonna link the predictions contest. Make sure you join those. See if you can dethrone me. Spoiler alert: you will not.
Ooh.
Maybe. But at any rate, visit onthemarkwrestlingpodcast.com and use the code Payback, all out, payout, 10% off your order. We appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.